Okay, so you're going to hear an even crazier story now about this DOT inspection on this bus. Hank, country music singer, has this tour bus. He took it into the shop. He wanted a DOT. They charged him for a DOT. When he got here with the bus, he knew he got bad service at that shop, but he got here and there's no way it had a DOT. It was leaking to like 25 PSI a minute of air pressure when you held down the brakes. It had a leaking brake diaphragm. It had a bad kingpin on it. 18 and 19-year-old tires on it. Just there was no way. You know, he obviously wanted it to be safe, and it came out of that shop, but they accidentally greased all the brakes. They over-greased them, so the roller pins dumped grease right into the brake drums. The bill at this place was like $4,400 that he paid, and everything they did, like diagnostic time, was just ridiculous. What they charged him for that. They didn't repair the stuff that they charged him many hours to diagnose. They didn't repair it. They didn't know what they were doing. They weren't familiar with MCI coaches at all. It was kind of a nightmare. They put the wrong oil in it. They put a multi-grade 15W40, which you never put in a two-stroke Detroit. You never do that. So he just knew they got bad service, but this DOT was a big thing. We're like, how did it get a DOT when it was so bad? So you're going to hear the phone call with the shop owner telling us that he didn't do a DOT, and then he says he didn't charge him for a DOT. Then he says that Hank didn't want a DOT, and then he says that Hank wanted a DOT, but he talked him out of a DOT. And it's just like so much double talk, back talk, everything, but we know that he paid for a DOT. So the owner is so adamant that he didn't do one. Well, he charged him for one, and how many other things did you charge him for that you shouldn't have? It's either a major billing problem or a major safety problem. This phone call is edited. I don't want to pretend like it's not edited, but it's only edited out the parts of the conversation that weren't about the DOT. This is just talking about the DOT part of it. If you want to hear the whole unedited phone call, it is available on our Patreon. If you join our Patreon, you can listen to it on there. So I just wanted to be upfront with you that it is edited. We just took out all the parts that weren't about a DOT to make it tolerable and just so you can understand this part just about the DOT. But I think you'll enjoy listening to this.
He told me you guys did a DOT inspection on it, but he was leaking like 25 PSI a minute of air pressure. It should have not been on the road.
I didn't do a DOT on it.
He said
he didn't want to. He didn't. I'm telling you right now, I didn't charge him for a DOT. I didn't do a DOT.
Conversation with you that you told him you did a complimentary DOT inspection on it for him. So saying you're not in charge him for him, but I don't know where he would get that language from unless it was he doesn't understand that stuff.
Because he wanted a DOT, and I told him that not for hire coaches do not need a DOT. If you want one, I'll do one. Honestly took the job on as a favor to him because we got to talking about it. And I mean, we did our best out here, and I can't charge. Actually, our RV rate, our coach RV rate, is $205. I kept it at our shop rate for trucks at $155. I didn't charge him for a DOT. I talked him out of a DOT. I said, but I did find other things wrong with the bus. But we're not an MCI coach professional.
Whoever did the grease gun stuff.
I really don't have time to go through this with you because I've got like a shop full of shit going on out here, and I got customers calling and customers want to talk to me, and I got another business that I run as well. So.
Well, what about all the grease in the brake drums? The brakes are all contaminated from whoever greased.
Fix it or tell him to bring it back.
You want him to drive this bus with grease all over the brakes? You recommend that?
I mean, I'll stand behind any work that I do. I'll stand behind anything that I need to make right. I ain't paying you to do it.
Well, I mean, we're in the same business as you, and if somebody called me and said, you didn't know what you were doing and you charged way so much for diagnostic that should have never been charged, I would give the guy money back for that. If somebody greased it and contaminated all the brake drums and that's got to be cleaned up, it's not safe to drive it. If he was still in your area and he took it back for you and had you clean that up, then I think you should do that. But honestly, I think you should give the guy back some money. I think that what you did for him was, even though you went out of your way to do a favor, I know a lot of times that comes back and bites us in the ass. When you don't know something and you try it, hey, and it sounds like you were upfront with him. We're not familiar with these, but he did not get the quality of service he should have got. the work that was done by not hooking up that air filter, by over greasing all the grease fittings and dumping grease right into the brake drums, where now the shoes and the drums are contaminated. Like, a lot of grease is in there. It's crazy. And you should have told him the bus wasn't safe to drive. That's the first thing that should have come out. This stuff needs to get fixed. The 25 PSI a minute leaking on an air brake system, I don't care if it's required to have a DOT because it's a private coach or not, that should not be on the road driving. My kids are out there on the road driving. Your kids are out there on the road. Or if you have kids, neighbors, wife, whatever.
You do what you want to do, Scott. I'll do what I want to do. I'll run my business how I want to run it. You run your business how you want to run it. Don't go back.
Well, tell me what you believe on that conversation. Were they trying to scam and just get the money for the DOT? Were they pretending that they did a DOT, but they didn't? Do you think they legitimately were just trying to falsify the DOT? Was it just a billing mistake? I mean, the conversation was so many different ways of did it, didn't do it, didn't want it, wanted it, talked him out of it, that it took me, it's what do you believe? I don't know what to believe. The phone call, Indiana and Tennessee are both single-party consent states, so there's no issue with that recording the phone call. He was actually on speakerphone while we were recording video, so that's why we have that. There were multiple people on the phone with him from our shop too. And we called the Indiana State Police, thought they would want to know about this falsified DOT thing, and honestly, they could care less. The officer that we talked to at the motor carrier division didn't even bat an eye. He's like, well, you can file a report with the federal level if you want to, but he didn't even want to know name of the shop, any of that kind of stuff. So everybody seemed like, oh, call the Indiana State Police. They're really going to, they're going to be mad about this. They're going to want to check their inspections, pull their license. Honestly, the guy we talked to could care less. It was nothing to him that there was such a unsafe vehicle on the road, and that somebody, said they did a DOT, but they really didn't. And I think they should have looked into it because it was a big safety concern, but the Indiana State Police could care less about it. We did go to the federal website, but there's not really a way to file that complaint. It asks who you are, and you're another shop. So you put it as a shop, and then it's like for employees of that shop to file a complaint against the place where you work or something. There's no way to do it that way. So it's just a paperwork or a nightmare, or it's not convenient or easy to do that. And the fact that the Indiana State Police didn't even care about it, I was extremely disappointed. And, at that point I'm like, well, what do we do now? So, I mean, it's out there. This video, it's alone has, close to 100,000 views about this story so far. So I know that they've been tagged on it and things, and, they haven't called me or asked me any questions. And we have very good documentation of everything that happened on this bus. So we'll see what happens from here, but as of right now, the Indiana State Police could care less. Well, right now, Hank's out $4,400 from that first shop, and then also the labor that we had to spend time fixing all of the brakes being greased and all that kind of stuff. So he's out, maybe $6,500 in stuff because of this shop. And we still got to redo the oil change too, so that you have that. So we're helping Hank out. If anybody wants to pitch in and help cover his bill here at our shop, if you want to send a few bucks via PayPal, you can do that. Scott@busgreasemonkey.com, and we'll apply it towards Hank's bill. And then if you do Venmo, we have @busgreasemonkey is our Venmo, and we'll apply that towards his bill. Right now, we've actually raised. People have donated over $2,700 towards Hank's bill here just to help him out. He's going to have to take that other shop to court. He didn't pay by credit card. He was going to pay by credit card, but then they wanted to charge him an 8% extra fee. So they drove him to the bank to get money to pay the bill. So he can't, dispute charges on a credit card, which had he have paid by credit card, he would have definitely been able to do and won that. Obviously we're encouraging him to take these people to court, but how long is it going to take to get his money back? And if the shop goes out of business, he doesn't get the money back and that kind of stuff too. So I don't really know what to do with this. I feel so bad for him, and lots of people have pitched in $5, $10 here and there, and really helping him out with his bill here. We let him go without paying his bill. Find me another shop who's going to do that kind of work on somebody's bus and let the customer go without paying the bill. We just felt so bad for the horrible service that he got somewhere else. And after talking to that other guy at the shop, I was so frustrated. I'm like, man, this guy can't deal with this all by himself. He doesn't understand this industry and that kind of stuff. So we're really trying to help him out. And a lot of people who watch, our videos have stepped up and donated. And It's not a charity. If you want to donate money to a charity, then find a charity to do that. This is just helping a kid out who got a raw deal on this bus thing, and we're doing great. I know he's super excited. I told him yesterday where we're up to financially on this, and he couldn't believe it. He was ecstatic. So that's a big help to somebody who's trying to make his dream come true on something like that.